Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and in today's video we have some updates coming to the 10.0.7 PTR that I figured I would go through. There have been several of these posts so far. There's a lot of talent changes that have already been put up that I haven't made videos on, so go read through them. Sorry about that. I will try and make some videos though. I'm not promising of doing like all these updates, but they're pretty cool. There's a lot of good changes being made. It really makes me excited to see the talent system being adjusted like this. So first of all, Frost DK. Frost DK, we're having some stuff made baseline and taken off the talent tree. A new talent coming in as well, giving you an extra stack of Killing Machine. But mostly this is just +2 talent points, right, to Frost DK. And that's basically what the dev note says as well, which is Frost will be seeing a few updates. Currently, Frost feels 1 or 2 points off from being able to make meaningful choices within their spec tree. To help ease some of this, we're shifting a few talents to be auto-learned on level up and replacing them with a new or existing talent. Should offer a little more variety and feel less linear, and give you more choice based on the content you're running. This seems really good. This is the kind of thing that I think it is a buff to the spec as well, but Frost is a spec that I think could use a little buff as well, so pretty cool. Mistweaver, a little bit of a rework here on Shaylun's Gift and an addition of a new talent that empowers it, but yeah, buffing its healing, but making it only trigger the mist on its primary target. Okay. Windwalker, this is a big one. Skyreach is now not something you have to talent. You can talent Sky Touch, which gives you the same effect, but does not include the dash component. So that's going to be really nice. That's going to stop a lot of Windwalkers from complaining. And you can still use Skyreach in PvP or whatever, or on boss fights where you actually want the dash rather than, there are the fights where it ints you. So pretty cool. Paladin, Seal of Mercy. So they're gaining a talent point off of Seal of Mercy. They're moving Divine Toll and Divine Resonance to the class tree rather than the spec trees, and they're taking Seraphim and Sanctified Wrath talents off of the class tree, and they're putting it, like they put Sanctified Wrath into the prot tree, for instance. Retribution Aura has been redesigned. Now grants 5% increased damage and healing for 10 seconds to all party and raid members. All party and raid members. Whenever a party or raid member within 40 yards takes more than 50% of their health and damage, this can only occur once every 30 seconds. This is actually a somewhat sizable raid buff now that Paladin will bring to the table here. 5%. So naively, if this had full uptime, right, 10 seconds of every 30, this would be a 1.66% increased damage and healing buff. We're not expecting it to necessarily be full uptime, but realistically, this will proc pretty often on hard encounters, right? If you consider a fight like Mythic Razageth, people are taking more than 50% of their health and damage all the time on progression on an encounter like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's 1.6% increased damage as a raid buff. It's within 40 yards of the Ret Pally, but most of the raid should be within 40 yards of the Ret Pally on most encounters. So, yeah, that's quite big. Now, Ret Aura, yeah, I mean, that's just quite big. I don't know. That might be a raid spot there, at least competitive for it. I guess, yeah, you have a Ret Pally with Red Aura, you have a Holy Pally and Devo Aura, and that's two raid spots for them now, I guess. So Prot is getting the Sanctified Wrath put in their Prot tree. There's been some talents adjusted. We don't know exactly what that means yet. Spell wording's been moved down to the bottom of the tree as well, making it slightly harder to pick up. And yeah. So, okay, here's the dev notes. We're hard at work on updates to the Ret tree, and we're going to share the big changes later, but Retribution Aura has functioned only as a personal throughput benefit, locking them out of using other auras during gameplay. We're looking to change that, so Ret Aura, yeah, that's the thing. In addition to that, Ret Pallies will also receive a baseline passive. Instrument of Retribution. Whenever any party or raid member within 40 yards dies, you gain Avenging Wrath for 12 seconds. That used to be the Ret Aura. So now you just get old Ret Aura baked in. I guess old Ret Aura used to have this Seraphim proc for 4 seconds that could trigger once every 30 seconds, like this thing did. But still, this huge part of the old Ret Aura is now coming into baseline. It means you could even run Devo Aura or whatever and still get that as well. And then Seraphim has been removed from the Paladin talent tree. Points regarding stacking auras and having an excessive amount of buttons to press. It's a fairly large factor in both, and we feel it's better to take the throughput provided by this cooldown and build it into your core abilities. I'm not a Ret Pally main, but I have played like 10 keys or something as Ret this season, and yeah, Seraphim, it's a lot of damage, but If we can get the same damage and not have to press that button, I think that would feel better. And then they've moved the Divine Toll to the Paladin tree to keep a good node down at the bottom of the class tree. They look forward to sharing more with me. If I was a Paladin main, I'd be very excited. Especially if I was a Ret Paladin main, I'd be very excited about these changes. This seems like a huge increase in the chances of a raid spot being available to that spec, in at least in high-end Mythic content. Okay, Shaman. Earth Ellie and Primal Earth Ellie no longer taunt or pulse threat to enemies the Shaman is not in combat with. That's nice. And then they briefly had a change where it would also not taunt things that are attacking a player with a tank spec, but then people were like, hang on a second, that's a good part of Earth Ellie is that I can press it and it can taunt the mobs off my tank if they need it or whatever, if it's, something, if they're dying. So they've reverted that after feedback. Swirling Currents has been redesigned, which they're buffing the amount of extra healing it gives you on Healing Stream Totem for Ellie and enhancement. Okay. Fix an issue caused by the self-cast version of Earth Shield from elemental orbit to not increase the healing done by Healing Stream Totem or Healing Tide Totem. Okay, bug fix. Moved several talents around. Okay, so again, we don't know exactly what that means. I guess I could look on the PTR, but I'm not going to do that. I like reading through blue posts. I am not signing up for any more work than that. Earth Grab Totem now replaces Earth Bind Totem. Okay. And Shamans that are in Ghost Wolf now display Maelstrom instead of mana if they're Ellie. That makes sense. Slight buffs here to Elemental Electrified Shocks. Okay. New talents, new choice node here for Resto Shaman. Duration of Manatide Totem and Radius of Manatide Totem. Or, after using Manatide Totem, the cast time of Healing Wave and Chain Heal is reduced, and the mana cost is reduced as well. That's cool. All healing done increased by 8%. Wow. That's a lot of... That's a pretty beefy aura buff to that. Acid Rain damage reduced by 20%. Not surprised to see that. That thing does absurd damage. Ancestral Awakening now buffed. Earth and Harmony redesigned. Reduces damage taken and healing is increased on targets below 75% health. Cool. That kind of lines up with their whole thing. Yeah, the mastery as well. Ancestral Awakening, Ancestral Guidance now contribute to Cloudburst Totem Healing. Ancestral Guidance now contributes to Cloudburst Totem Healing. Okay. But Cloudburst Totem no longer contributes to Ancestral Guidance. Okay, that makes sense. That would be a little bit of a crazy feedback loop that you could get going there. I guess not a feedback loop, but, double dip, I guess. Earth Living Weapons proc sound effects have been lowered in volume. The change we've all been crying out for, I'm sure. Demonic Inspiration's been redesigned. Wrathful Minion's been redesigned. Okay, interesting. For a second I thought these had the same text, but one of them is increasing damage and one of them is increasing attack speed. Affliction, slight buff to Dread Touch there. Items and rewards. Okay, oh, you can start getting the Stolen Breath of Onara. I have one of these things. You need like 3 to get a mount or something, so cool. Now you can get it from Nockhood on M+ difficulty. Very nice change, love that. And then some PvP changes. Yeah. Skinning enemies has a new animation. Very cool. So, yeah, the TLDR of these changes is nice quality of life for Frost, very nice quality of life for Windwalker, and big hints towards what they're doing to Ret Pally in particular and to Paladin in general that I think should be very exciting if you're playing, especially a Ret Pally. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.